first things first, as always, my fan is on. It's really warm today, but I really want to get this video out. Because I think it's important, not just for everybody else to kind of understand where I am, but for me to work out and understand where I am, what I need to do, and when I pull the ripcord. Because for the past, I don't know, 6 months, probably 2020, ever since a certain pandemic hit, I've been treading water more than I should have done. So I made the decision 2 years ago to do content creation, mainly Twitch streaming, as the only thing I do to earn money. And that's been going fine. Like the support that people have given me over there has been fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And I don't deserve it. And I appreciate everybody who has supported me in any way during this time. But the reality is, if content creation, also t-shirt, stop going on the bloody table. If it's rude is what it is. It's worse than elbows. If content creation, I'm doing this because I hate the term content creation, but the world has decided that's what it's called, and I'm going to stop fighting the small battles that make no difference, right? If content creation is what I want to do as a living, and it's this living thing, which is the kind of the big key, right? If you're doing it to make a living, you have to be earning money. If you're doing it for a hobby, money is a nice extra. It's not the driving force. Now, money will never be the driving force for why I do this. Even though I'm probably going to do a whole video now about why money is becoming more important if I want to keep on doing this the way that I'm doing it now. But it's never the driving force. I'm not particularly driven by money or material goods. That's not what I wake up in the morning and feel happy about, if that makes any sense. A lot of people are driven by money. They're driven by flash cars. They got to have the latest and greatest. And money is the way to get that. And they use the money as the kind of measurement of how well they're doing in life. And it's fair enough. A lot of people do it. Society does it. Western society. I'm from the UK. Well, UK adjacent. We're not quite as bad as America with capitalism, but we're definitely there. We're definitely runners up in that. So I understand it, and I understand how money can be a driving factor for people. It is not a driving factor for me. Never has been. I like to enjoy myself. Sacrilegious, I know. What are you enjoying yourself? What do you even mean? In 2020? Is that even possible? Yeah, it is. And the driving force for me to do something is, am I getting any satisfaction and fun and enjoyment out of it? And then, is anybody else getting any fun or enjoyment out of this? Which I think is the other main driver for why people go into content creation. It's to make themselves feel happy or, have a worth by making other people happy, and those people believe you have a worth, if that makes any sense. And to a certain degree, I definitely suffer from the second affliction. My self-worth is wrapped up in the content that I make. And one of the reasons why I've done streaming more than anything else is streaming is not easy. I will put that out there. Streaming is not easy, and it's not for everyone. Luckily, I do find streaming fairly easy. It's tiring, but I think I'm the kind of person who can just talk and talk and talk. A lot of people hate that in streamers. I am a talking streamer. I'm not a good game player. I can't tell you elite tips, elite tricks. I'm background noise. I'm talk radio for the new generation. That's how I view myself. And although I put a lot of my character and my personality, I am me. I'm not putting on an act. Piece of Cake is who I am. The only reason I don't use my real name is because of privacy concerns. But, and not that I've got anything to hide, it's just that I don't trust the internet. Because I was born in a time before the internet, and I don't think it's the great good that everybody believes it is. It can do good, but it can also do bad. Also, I've said way too many times. It's annoying me. It's probably annoying you. But this is a free form thinking out loud video, because I'm really trying to get across to people what it is I want to do and what it is I want to achieve, and kind of the reasons why I want to do that. So I spent a lot of my life working for other people, putting a lot of effort into work for other people. And I know a lot of you out there probably still doing it and probably feel the way that I feel now. I put a lot of effort in and I got very little back apart from money. I'm not talking huge amounts of money, but it was a very comfortable amount of money. And this is when you get stuck in this kind of this rat wheel of possessions are good, right? Is I have money. Money doesn't really make me happy. My work isn't really making me happy, and I'm not really surrounded by people I enjoy working with. But I have the money, and I can spend the money on shinies, and we all like shinies. But I got to a stage in my life, very much brought on by the death of my mother, where money and working for people doing a job I didn't like was doing nothing for me, and it was making me hugely, hugely depressed. I went on the pills and all the other stuff that you're meant to do when you get depressed. I had a real issue with how the pills made me think. Life was definitely easier on the pills, and if you are suffering from depression, do seek professional help. I highly recommend it. The pills will work for some people. Talking will work for some people. Find something that works. What worked for me was essentially running away from life, one, and then two, finding work that really meant something to me. And I'm trying to make this sound as not pretentious as possible. But this is a very first world problem, a very pretentious, privileged problem. I'm well aware of this, but that is the life I lead. I can only fight my own battles and help other people fight theirs. I can't not admit what my life is and the advantages and disadvantages I've had over my life, but that's not really what I want to dwell on. What I'm trying to get across is, so Twitch streaming became a kind of my go-to thing because it was content that I could make, which is, it's live, so you do it and then it's done. There's no real thinking about it. I don't put on a persona as I stream. I play games, I talk to chat. We get into fights, we talk about random stuff. I say things that, maybe are a little bit on the outrageous scale. But you say it and it's done. It's out there. There will be repercussions. There's always repercussions for this kind of work. But it doesn't involve a lot of thought. And even though I'm putting myself into it, it's the myself that I am. God, this is sounding so pretentious. I'm starting to hate myself right now. But all the other stuff, the creative stuff, the real, you sit down and you write a story, or you write a script, or you try to put a fictional podcast together, or, anything like this. That's work where I put a lot more of me into it. And the downside of that is I expect a lot more back, if that makes any sense. Like, this is me saying this is the best I can do. Please like it. Because if you don't like it, I can't offer you anything else. Whereas the streaming doesn't really have that effect on me. The streaming is, this is me. If you don't like it, fuck off somewhere else and just watch somebody else. I know I'm not for everybody. But whereas the other stuff, you put your heart and your soul into it and then you put it out there. And then because I have no real level of self-confidence when it comes to work of this caliber, because I've never caliber, that's a pretentious word. It's not even of a caliber. It's not of a, excellent vintage. It's work of that effort, of that kind, where I am the most vulnerable, I think. And it's all brought on, but it is there, and I know it is there. So for me to put something out there, I don't have a problem with. What I do have a problem with is then encouraging people to look at it, or listen to it or enjoy it. Because what if they don't? What if they don't enjoy it? And then you start to find excuses for why you don't do it anymore. Oh, I don't have the microphone, or I don't have the camera, or I don't have the lights, or, I saw 3 crows this morning. That's a bad omen. I'll do it tomorrow. And for the past 6 months, the do it tomorrow, looking for omens, looking for any excuse not to do anything, has been real. That's been new for me, really, where I've actively tried to make myself not do things. There's been a number of external reasons which I can kind of use as excuses, but really that's all they are. They are excuses, and I don't want them anymore. I don't want to make these excuses. I want to put the effort in, I want to put the work out, and I want to see if there's an audience for it. So that's the stage that I'm at now, is where I'm chomping at the bit to do something. The main thing that was holding me back, which was legal issues, is now gone, which was my main go-to excuse. I could do something, but then if all this goes wrong legally, then I've got to give it all to somebody else anyway. So why would I put the effort in? That's no longer there. So now every other excuse I can come up with is purely I'm scared. In reality, that's what it is. It's the fear. It's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of putting something out there that I've worked hard on, and then it's not even that people go, "This is shit." I think a strong reaction one way or the other is better than what most people will have to any kind of content, which is, nah. You know what I mean? I'm the same. A lot of content I will watch, I will enjoy, and I will forget. It was fine. And then people ask you about it, and you can go, "Oh, what was that again?" And then they'll describe it, and you go, "Oh, yeah, that was all right." But then there's other stuff that I come across which I either really like, and it'll stay with me, and I'll go to, "Oh, you got to watch this. It's brilliant. It's great." And then there's other stuff I watch which I really hate, and I'll go, "Oh, fucking terrible." Those are the things that stick with you, right? I don't really know where I'm going with this particular train of thought. This train has definitely been derailed right now, but I want to start putting stuff out. I want to force myself to start putting stuff out because I want to do content creation for a living. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the Twitch stuff. I love recording the videos, even if I don't put a lot of them out. I was really enjoying the improv story stuff, but then that got a little bit overwhelming for me at the time. So I kind of just stopped it, derailed it. This is all the kind of stuff that I love doing. And if I didn't love doing it, I would have walked away by now. I would have just found something else to do. But I haven't walked away from it because I want to do it. I want to give it the best shot I possibly can to see if I can make a living out of it. And I think where I have to start being realistic with myself is the question, is this a hobby or is this a living? And the question of if this is a living will come down to, can I live off the amount of money I'm earning from whatever various projects I decide to push forward with? So streaming will not be going anywhere. I enjoy streaming too much to ever let go of it. I've said it before, the moment that I do not enjoy streaming is the moment I will stop it. I will not keep streaming just for money. I do not want to get into doing something just for the cash. If I'm going to do that, I'd rather go and find myself a nice, stable job where I've got guaranteed income, peace of mind, and in all fairness, I can do a lot more with banks, loans, and mortgages based on a stable job just after 3 months than I can earning even the same amount through content creation. So if I'm not enjoying it, there's no point putting myself through it, especially not for the make the living argument. If I decide I can't make the living, if my life gets to a point where, okay, I really need to be earning more money right now, and I know that I haven't put anything out there, my audience isn't growing, my income isn't growing, and I can't just go cap in hand to the people who are already supporting me and say, support me more. I'm not going to get to the point where I try and blackmail people or, guilt people into giving me money. You give me whatever you feel like giving me, and that's fine. Be that nothing, be that only a view, be that a like or a follow or a recommendation to a friend, or, money or food, or, whatever it happens to be, the level of support people want to give me is beholden on them. And I'm not going to come to people and say, look, well, if I'm not earning $5,000 a month, I can't do this anymore, so you will lose me. That's not where I ever want to be. From my point of view, if I'm making content and people are supporting me to make it, and I can keep on doing that to a level where the money coming in is equal or preferably above where my living standards are, then that's where I want to be. And I think the most important thing that I can do to keep that going is diversification. So the other main problem with content creation, the way I do it, is I am a Twitch streamer, and Twitch could disappear tomorrow, or Twitch could kick me off their platform tomorrow. Twitch could get rid of the affiliate program tomorrow. There are a lot of things Twitch can do tomorrow which leave me completely and utterly screwed. I have no control over that. And if Twitch goes down, I cannot suddenly come back on a platform of my own. Okay, there are competitors out there. I could possibly move to Facebook gaming, but honestly, Amazon's not a nice company. To me, Facebook is worse. So I'd rather work for Amazon/Twitch than I would for Facebook, if that makes any sense. I am sure there will be some competitors coming out. I know there is a Chinese one coming out, but just look at TikTok and the problems that has now, that someone like me putting my faith in a Chinese-backed venture at this state of the day would be a mistake. Patreon is responsible for a good chunk of my steady income right now. And Patreon could be in trouble. Patreon could be gone very, very soon. And okay, with the size I am now, I know all of my Patreons, and I can just go to them. Okay, look, if you're still willing to support me, I've moved over to X, Y, or Z. Please follow me there if you want. You don't have to, but if you want, I would appreciate it. I want to be, and this sounds horrible, but I want to be at the stage where I don't know all of my Patreons. So let's say you earn 200 currency units a month from Patreon or Twitch, whatever service it is. It's much better to have 201 currency unit subscriptions coming in than it is to have one 200 currency unit subscription coming in. Because if you've got 200 and you lose 5, you've still got 195. If you've got one giving you the 200 and they go, you're left with nothing. So the kind of spread is very, very important when it comes to this kind of stuff. And this is my main stumbling block. And it's not only that I don't know how to increase my spread, it's that I'm not good at that kind of thing. I'm not good at selling myself. I'm not good in believing that what I do is worth people's time, let alone money. And you can tell I come from a capitalist background where I think money is more important than time. That is completely untrue, but it's what we're taught, and here we are. So I really, really, really want to make a big push at growth, but I don't particularly want to grow Twitch, if that makes any sense. So I have a small community. We have a small chat. I can engage with them. I can keep up with what's going on in the chat, and I very much like that. If that was to blow up, to the, Ninja or Dr. Disrespect levels, the chat is essentially white noise at that stage. It's just, it's there, but as a streamer, you're not paying a huge amount of attention to it. You might catch the odd bit of chat, you might respond to the odd bit of chat, but there's too many people to have a conversation with at that time. And having a conversation is what I like about Twitch. Okay, so you may argue with talk radio, which was the thing I compared it to earlier. It's not a two-way conversation, it's a one-way conversation. And okay, yes, I can probably do the one-way conversation. I mean, just look at this video. This video is probably going to be way longer than the 10. It's already 22 minutes. I was hoping for a 10-minute video. I probably could do that, but I don't know if that's what I want from Twitch, if that makes any sense. Whereas the other stuff I'm planning on putting out, videos, podcasts, etc., they are definitely one-way conversations with after contact, be it through, Twitter, emails, people asking questions. Like the content itself is very much, here it is. And then afterwards is that here's the feedback. Whereas Twitch is very much, pew, 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 pew. It's a constant back and forth. And it's the constant back and forth that I really like. I've said that about 8 different times now, I think. But I think it's an important point to get across in that, okay, would I like to be a Twitch partner? Well, Twitch isn't having the best time with their Twitch partners right now. But would I like to be a Twitch partner? Sure. Well, would I like to be at the level where I could be considered for a Twitch partner? Absolutely. Would I like to have, around the 100 sub a month mark who are independent subs? Of course I would. And again, I don't want this to take away or because I know a lot of people do support me above and beyond. Like I have a lot of fairly loyal, is that the right word? People who do support me a lot. And I'm not trying to say that that's bad. It's not. It helps me out a lot. But I would feel a lot safer in my content creation journey. Oh, God. Yeah, go with it. I would feel much better in my content creation journey having 100 subs who are always there. That's 100 people giving me 100 currency units. That's just a more stable foundation than, the big foundations. Better to have a lot of small foundations than big foundations or something. Really bad mixed metaphor. But I do want to put across that the people who do support me above and beyond, I really, really appreciate. And I'm not saying I want you to go away or give me, give me less support. That's not what I'm trying to get across. It's just kind of as I look to the future, as I look to try and build a content creation career, or living. I don't want to say career, but I guess the two are the same. But anyway, stop getting sidetracked. This video is going to be like 2 hours or something at this rate. It's getting more income from more places, from more people, so that when people do inevitably drop off, and this is the thing that in the back of my mind that is really there, is that a very loyal supporter tomorrow might get bored, might get into financial distress of their own, so they can't do the support anymore. But there are many reasons why that support can go. The most likely one, I feel, is that they will get bored. I can completely understand it. I've been doing Twitch for 2 years. There are people who have watched me for 2 years. I don't understand that, but I appreciate that. But, and then I know from my kind of viewing habits that there are people I watch on Twitch, and that around the 2-year mark is where I start to get the itch to find something new. And then I have to think that that's going to be happening in my audience as well. So there has to be a constant kind of, you hope you keep your loyal base. I don't want any of my loyal viewers or the people who've been watching me for a long time, loyal, I don't know. The word loyal when I'm talking about this kind of just it leaves a weird taste in my mouth. I don't know why. These are the issues I have. These are the self-defeating issues I have when I'm kind of trying to think this stuff through. So, building the foundation and having a spread foundation is going to be very important. But my main kind of stumbling block is, where do I want that foundation to be? Do I want the 100 Twitch subs, which would probably mean you're around the 3 to 4 to 500 constant viewer mark? You know what I mean when I say constant, but it's at the moment. Actually, I don't know if that's true with Twitch. Because when I look at my Twitch, my sub count is around double my normal viewer count, and that's not including gifted subs. So I'm assuming that is not true. The kind of higher up the ranks you go. Although maybe it is. I honestly do not know. There are a lot of gaps in my knowledge that I would like to fill in. But again, I don't really know how to fill in. You can watch a lot of people like me, content creators trying to give tips and tricks and tell you how Twitch works. But then you watch those videos, and what you quickly start to realize is they haven't got a fucking clue how it works. They're just playing the game how they've been taught it. Whereas the ones who seem to do... Okay, and I don't want to slag anybody off here, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, and I'm not going to name any names, but you have your really big Twitch streamers, your ninjas, your Dr. Disrespects. All they do is... Well, I mean, none of them are Twitch streamers. Neither of them are Twitch streamers anymore, and Dr. Disrespect never will be, but that is pretty much all they do. They are known for being a streaming personality. What they don't have is the kind of backup YouTube channel with tips and tricks, because they don't need to do that, because they're winning, to quote Charlie Sheen in a very timely reference, at the streaming game. What you see with a lot of other people around the kind of low to middling mark, which is where I would consider myself to be, is they will say, this is how I got successful on Twitch. The reason why I'm doing this video is how I got successful on Twitch is because I need not only the ad revenue from YouTube and the kind of that, but also Twitch has almost zero discoverability built in, whereas YouTube has discoverability. And I would imagine the cross-pollination between the two platforms is fairly high in the gaming sphere and the gaming/tech sphere. In other spheres, no. People who go onto YouTube to watch gardening videos, learn how to cook, trying to find out how they change the batteries in a certain remote control, they're probably not going to cross-pollinate into a Twitch stream, because that's not what they're looking for. There's a lot of people who are looking at gaming videos on YouTube and, advice for how to set up OBS and microphones and all that kind of stuff. They're obviously interested in the Twitch side already. So there is going to be a lot of cross-pollination. This has got nothing to do with what I'm trying to talk about. I've just gone on a completely different tangent. But trying to get that cross-pollination does seem to be very important when you're trying to grow your Twitch channel and your YouTube channel. Because, like I say, YouTube has discoverability. If you can get to the point in YouTube where that discoverability will work for you. The easiest way to do that seems to be tips and tricks videos, because people are searching for those. So if I do one, you know, like I have a Rode Procaster, which I do use to live stream for all the audio interface. I had a Go XLR. I got rid of it because I thought the microphone quality of the Go XLR was frankly trash. I didn't like how it sounded to my ears. Nobody on stream had a problem with it. It was purely a me thing. I upgraded to the Rode Procaster because I got it cheap. And to me, the audio quality is night and day improved. Nobody else can tell. It's a personal thing. But when I went to go and look for how to set it up, especially doing ASIO, the information was there. There were no real videos about it, but the information was there on the ASIO for all webpage. It wasn't very well done. And in fact, the main instructions were underneath a specific other set of instructions that 99% of people wouldn't need to do. And if they were anything like me, didn't realize they were underneath there until after they'd figured it out for themselves. And at the time when I was setting this up, I was like, okay, do I do this is how I set up my Rode Procaster into OBS, and how it's also doing my Discord chat, and how I make sure that Discord people chatting aren't hearing themselves back, and how they're not hearing the game back. But then if I do want them to hear sound effects, music, how can I do that? It's all working. I could do a video about it, and it would probably do fairly well, but I don't think I want to make tips and tricks videos. I don't think that's where I'm best, if that makes any sense, because my coffee is cold, so please the cake hides. He likes to be warm. So the reason I say that is because I'm very much a tinkerer, and I like to encourage other people to tinker and not just tell them how to do things, which when you're looking at a tips and tricks video on YouTube is not ideal. You know, it's could you imagine you go onto YouTube and you look for a video of, oh, how do I change a tire on a car? Okay, well, you need these tools. And then I'm just going to leave you at that. Figure it out for yourself. You know, I've told you half of it. Now go tinker. It's kind of, I don't think it would leave a good taste in people's mouths. Now, from my point of view, I would probably quite enjoy a video like that, where it's kind of like, okay, I want to fix, say, a tractor engine, but I don't know what tools I need. But I don't want you to tell me anything else. Don't tell me how to fix it. That's what I want to work out for myself. But tools, tell me the tools I need. I just don't think there are a lot of people who would enjoy that. You know what I mean? So I don't think I would be best at tips and tricks videos. I'm willing to help people out. You know, people have problems with OBS, slobs when I was using that, although I went away from that because I really didn't like it. I preferred the OBS Studio. Audio problems, you know, recommending to them they try RTX Voice, even though I don't have an RTX card myself. It had good press and it's helped people out. And I'm always willing to help people out when they ask questions and need this kind of assistance. I just don't know if I'd be good at doing that in a kind of video form, and I just don't know if I want to, because, and here we're getting to the main point of the video after 34 fucking minutes, is I want to put more creative stuff out. And by creative, I mean fiction, I mean new, and I mean it's come from my head. This is what I want to put out. This is the content I want to get out there. And what I have to do is stop using and having excuses as to why I'm not doing it. Stop being afraid to put it out there for consumption. And then stop being afraid to tell people it exists. because I want people to find this content. I want people to either enjoy it, hate it, or think it's meh. And I want that to happen. But it's getting over this initial stumbling block. And the first one was I don't have the kit. I'm here to tell you, stop using that as an excuse. If you've got an idea, if you've got something you want to do, just fucking do it. Put it out there, tell people that it exists. If they like it, they will tell you how to make it better. Someone will always tell you how to make it better, even if they don't like it. Even if you make the perfect thing, someone will tell you how to do it better. And that someone has probably never done anything like this before in their lives. But they know how to do it better. Not the point. So, what have I done? How have I started this in myself? I have started to write again, which is very important when you're trying to do original content. And I have started it is a podcast, but it's me reading the stuff that I've written. There's only one out there at the moment. I'll try and remember to put a link below if anybody wants to check it out and give me feedback. And that really, this kind of reading what I've done is a stepping stone into what I want to do, which is one-man audio plays. Now, I think I need to... This video is already too long, but do you know what? If you're here and still listening to this, you're probably willing to listen for another 20 or so minutes more. So I'll just carry on with the video. So the one-man audio plays are obviously going to be me talking. And now whether that is going to be in a kind of narration kind of way where I'm kind of reading it as if it was a book and I'm doing the different voices, maybe not even voices, but, reading out the different lines of different people and that kind of stuff. Or one podcast that I listen to, which has done this very well, I feel, is where the person is pretending to be a late night radio host and is just presenting that fiction as the reason why he's talking into the microphone. And it's got what you would expect from late night radio. It's got sound effects, it's got jingles. And I find that very interesting. So I think what I would like to do is a highly produced narration. In fact, one of the audiobooks I listened to did have this in spades, and it was really good. So early audiobooks were literally, I will read a book to you, and that's it. You got the calming voice of whoever's reading it, and they're reading the book to you, and it's fine. And they did kind of evolve into what I would consider more audio plays, if you like, audio dramas, where they started to put sound effects, so a crack of lightning or footsteps on gravel or people eating. The sound effects will be there. And that's the stage I want to get to, where I'm happy doing a live, because I would like to broadcast these on Twitch and record them live, because I think that would be fun. And then the other thing to do with the live ones is then you have a video to put on YouTube as well. So you can put it out as audio only on the podcast networks, but then you also can put it onto YouTube as something which is a little bit more interesting. Obviously, if I stream it on Twitch, you then have to wait a week before you can put it on YouTube. But, we can build that into the production schedule. But what would be good with the videos is if I'm going to do live, then you need soundboard. You need a decent script out here so you know when you need to, cue your keys. And I think that could be a lot of fun. It's, I'm looking at people who do DJ live streams, and I'm thinking, could you do that kind of live stream where you're trying to do a one-man audio play? And I honestly think you could. And I think there would be a lot of fun in seeing, possibly seeing the script on the screen as it's going through. Seeing the soundboard and, pressing all the buttons to make all the things happen. Seeing the screw-ups. Keeping with the screw-ups. Rolling along with the screw-ups. I think there's entertainment to be had there, and I think that could be a lot of fun. And that would lead, I think, to a lot of cross-pollination. The other thing I would really like to do is video. And this is where not having the equipment does become more of a kind of worthwhile excuse, but not really. I do have a phone which has got a fairly decent camera, even if the battery only lasts 2 seconds if I do anything on it. I do have the GoPro, which I can remove from above my screen and record GoPro level videos with if I really wanted to do original video content, which isn't just talking head stuff. I do have the equipment where I can already do this. What I would love to add is a proper camera to the mix. Again, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. So you'll see this setup here. This setup is made for craft streams, which I'm starting. I've done Lego, and we have the Lego 8080 coming. It's in the post right now. We're going to be starting that on Friday, which will be Friday the 14th of August. If anybody is watching this in the past and gets this far, which I very much doubt, that's what this setup is for. And what you'll notice is I have a webcam on here right now. That works. It gets the job done, and you can see everything. Would a camera with zoom, autofocus, all that kind of good stuff be better on there? Absolutely. Like, no questions asked. Like a Sony 5100 or EOS M250, something like that would be great there. Those cameras would also be great for doing video content. They'd be great for the talking heads. You know, you could place it up here and have a much nicer shot. They'd be perfect for the streams because you can do a nice soft background rather than it's all in focus with the GoPro. Like, upgrading your equipment for this kind of stuff is important, but it's not the reason why you shouldn't do it. Wow, that was a big circle, big rambling circle. It's my life, right? My life is a big rambling circle. But the point of this video is to say to everybody that I want to put out more content. I want to see if content creation is actually something I can do and start to make a living out of. A decent living out of, I think is also going to be key there. I don't want to say this is the minimum that I would have to earn, you know, every month. And these are the times I would have to hit those earning amounts because, again, that's not what it is about. It's I need to put the time in. I need to put the effort in of not only creating the content, but then working out how to let people know it exists. And not only people in my circle, which, again, I've been very bad at going to people I know in real life and going, look at this. But people who I just don't know, you know, where do people go to find recommendations on comedy fictional podcasts? I don't know. The only ones I've ever picked up have been word of mouth from friends, and but how did they find out about them? You know, it's how does this work? How does selling content in a marketplace which is flooded with content? How do you let people know about it so they can listen to it and either decide they want to, you know, come back, listen some more, tell their friends about it, you know, get the word out, and then hopefully support comes from there. And the other main thing is getting to a point where I know there's a little bit more stable when it comes to the minimum income every month. And I have to put the work in. I have to put the effort in. And then if the rewards come, that's great. If not, this becomes a hobby. And then I have to go and get a job, which is not going to be easy in the current marketplace. You know, that's a definite, this is not a good time to be looking for a job market. But at some point, I have to get to the point, and I have to draw a line in the sand where I say, if I have not reached a certain level, this has to go back to being a hobby. And really, this video is me saying to myself, I've drawn that line. And if I want to make this work, I have to work as hard as I fucking possibly can to make it work. And it's all on me. And I'm fine with that. And I guess the invitation to anybody who watches this and get this far in is come along for the ride. I will try and get better at doing behind the scenes and, you know, kind of more updates and more videos about random things. And, you know, you're welcome to come along for this ride. If you want to throw me a couple of bucks to support me, I will never say no, but it is also not expected. just come along for the ride. See what I do. If you're interested, come and see what I do. If you want to come along for the ride just to watch me fail, do that as well. You're welcome. Come along for that ride. We will enjoy it together. And for the people who do come along, challenge me, force me to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Try and get me to put myself out there to other people, to try and sell myself, to market myself, to believe that what I'm putting out is actually worthwhile, if that makes any sense. And then I need to challenge myself with that as well. I need to force myself to do the things that I really know I'm bad at when it comes to myself, but I'm more than happy to do for other people. So that's kind of what this video is. It's kind of this is where I am. This is where I want to be. What comes in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months is the question mark. And it starts today. Coming soon will be schedules. So Twitch stays more or less the same. I was pushing for 6-hour streams. I may go back to that, or I may bring them down to around 4 or 5. I haven't decided yet. Outside of that, the Piece of Cake story time will be continuing. The aim there will be to get an episode up on a Tuesday. Another podcast will be starting, probably not this week, but next week, which will be on a Friday, which is very much going down the fictional news catch-up. That one I may record and put on YouTube. Reading the stories will be audio only for a while. They may turn into videos when I decide to do my comfy chair setup over there. But that's down the line. For now, it's audio only so I can get it done. So hopefully putting out non-stream content on a Tuesday and a Friday, and then hoping to do some kind of video at least once a week. But I don't know what that would be right now. So I'm not going to kind of commit to that. But kind of for August at least, what you should be seeing is a Piece of Cake story time on a Tuesday, fiction news wrap-up podcast video on a Friday, and then once I've decided what the third thing will be, that probably sometime in the weekend. I might move Piece of Cake Storytime to a Monday, and then I could do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday original content schedule. But at the moment, it's going to be Tuesday and it's going to be Friday. What happens, I do not know. There will be more stuff going on Patreon. This video may find its way to Patreon, or I may do a more shorter, more concise version down the line so people might actually watch it, get through it, rather than wasting 50 minutes of their life as I talk to myself to convince myself that this is the right thing to do right now. And that's really what this video has been about, is convincing myself to just shit or get off the pot. I want to shit. Anyway, if you made it this far, I thank you a lot. Thank you very, very much. I will try and put as many links as I can possibly remember down below. Church of Cakey is going to become the home of all this kind of stuff, kind of the central hub where I will make sure everything goes, links to everything go, and then we can come out from there, because I think it's important that I have at least one place on the internet that I can control as much as I can. And Church of Cakey is not going to be beholden to the podcast services. It's not going to be beholden to Twitch. It's down to me, make sure I can afford to pay it, and to my host provider to make sure the website stays up. But Church of Cakey is mine. Nobody can take it away from me. So that's kind of going to be the central hub. Any kind of original written work will end up on Church of Cakey, and then links to all the podcast videos, etc., will end up there, and then links to Discord. Any kind of updates that I want to put will end up there, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be the central hub. Churchofcakey.net, because I do own .com, but I can't make it work for some reason, and I kind of gave up and trying to make it work, but I will make it work eventually, probably, because churchofcakey.com is going to be easier to remember, probably. And I'm rambling now. Warp speed. That is it. Let's try and keep this just a shade under 50 minutes. Thank you very much for listening. This really is me just trying to convince myself to do this and get it done. And we will see what happens. Come along for the ride. Come along for the ride. I think it's going to be interesting. I may end up imploding. We will see. Thank you very much. Have an excellent rest of your day, and I will see you all when I see you all. Bye for now.